Kuzo Zangpola. Warm greetings to all the viewers. Welcome to Bhutan Learning Project. I am Thuktin Tenzin, currently teaching at Chapchamita Secondary School, Chuka.
I'm Jigme Namgyal, currently teaching at Punakha City School. Today, two of us will take you all through history lesson for Key Stage 5 on the events leading to the establishment of hereditary monarchy in our country for classes 11 and 12.
In this session, we will be having an interactive lesson. Before we really discuss the events, let us look at some of the learning objectives. By end of this session, you should be able to discuss the events that led to the establishment of hereditary monarchy.
At the same time, you are expected to evaluate and assess the importance of the institution of hereditary monarchy in Bhutan.
To move on, Lopugin, could you briefly share the political situation of our country before this Jigme Namgyal and Gonsa Ugiwangchu came to power?
Okay, if I may share, the beginning of 18th century and official announcement of the death of Jigme Namgyal in 1705 seem to be like ill omen that sparked off the difficult times which the people and the country were endure for next 200 years. Country was engulfed by internal instability, featured with repeated civil wars, political assassination, political intrigues, plots and counterplots, coupled with numerous external invasions. Common people suffered for generation after generation. People had to bear the bulk of burden of the perpetual war efforts made by their respective Zongpins and Panlops. People were longing for peace and order. And the wish of the people was answered by the birth of this Jigme Namgyal and Gonsa Ugen Wanchu.
Thank you so much for your insightful thoughts. We hope our students would have understood the political situation of our country before this Jigme Namgyal and Gonsa Ugiwangchu came to power. Lopugin, my next question to you. There's no doubt that this Jigme Namgyal was one of the indispensable and divine leader who laid strong foundation to establish hereditary monarchy. Could you take us through some of the notable events during his era?
Lasso, my dear students, are you all ready to look at notable events that led to the establishment of hereditary monarchy in our country? Okay, if you are ready, I'll take you through various events. First, in 1850, reunification of Sharcho Kholo Sipge. The next we have is in 1853, we have Jigme Namgyal becoming Chetsi Pello. The next we have is in 1857, the Battle of Samka. 1864 and 1865, Ashley Mission and Duo War. And 1870, Jigme Namgyal ascended to the throne of Desi. And the last event is the general uprising against central government in 1877. Okay, let us highlight the events. First one we have is reunification of Sharcho Kholo Tsipge in 1850. In 1850, Jigme Namgyal was promoted to the rank of Trongsa Dengyer. In the same year, the Zongpins of Zhonga, Tashigang, Tashiangsi, and Jadung of Dungsam planned to revolt against Trongsa Panlop. Trongsa Panlop Thokidoji instructed Jigme Namgyal to lead the contingents to fight against the rebellions. The combined forces of Zongpens, they reached Lingmitang, where they fought a battle at Lingmitang. Jigme Namgyal emerged as victorious and thus brought the Eastern Dzongkhag under Trongsa rule. And once again, Sharcho Khollo Tsibge was brought under the rule of Trongsa. Jigme Namgyal's first military expedition in East was one of the most important and successful events that strengthened the power base of Trongsa for the crucial times ahead. The next event that we have is Jigme Namgyal becoming Chetsi Panlop in 1853. And this event in the history of Bhutan is very important. In 1850, there was an incident at Punakha where Punakha Dzong was under reconstruction. When Trongsa Panlop Sokidoji made a visit to see the progress of the work, Trongsa Panlop became the immediate target of assassination. There, Jigme Namgyal showcased and exhibited his loyalty and dedication and saved the life of his master. There, Trongsa Panlop Sokidoji promised him to give the post of Trongsa Panlop when the time comes for him to retire. As he said in 1853, Trongsa Panlop Sokidoji retired and given the post to Jigme Namgyal. And Jigme Namgyal became the 10th Trongsa Chila or Chetri Panlop. As a Trongsa Panlop, Jigme Namgyal assumed the power to appoint Zongpens in the central and the entire Sharcho Kholo Tsibge. There, he proved to be man of determination, strength, wisdom, as no intrigues and conspiracy could stop him from becoming most powerful man in Bhutan. Next we have is Battle of Samkha that was fought in 1857. When Jigme Namgyal became Trongsa Panlop in 1853, there was a mutual understanding that he would abdicate the post in favor of Sundu Gelsen. But in 1857, since the country was under so much of strife, he was not willing to step down from the post of Trongsa Panlop. Therefore, Sundu Gelsen, he launched a force against Trongsa Panlop Jigme Namgyal, and it led to the fighting of battle at Samkha. There, the battle was ended in favor of Jigme Namgyal in 1858, where Jigme Namgyal retained and continued to serve as Chetri Panlop, the post from where he paved the path to the establishment of hereditary monarchy. Okay, next event we have is Ashleden Mission and Duo War. Do you have any idea on it? Yes, you have. Today we are going to discuss how this event had helped lay strong foundation for Jigme Namgyal to pave the way towards establishment of hereditary monarchy. Jigme Namgyal, as we all know, he was a Trongsa Panlop. As well, in 1863, he assumed the post of Lame Zimpe to minor Shabdung Choktil Eshi Ngido. As a Lame Zimpe, He had a power to decide the matter of our country. So in 1864, Ashley Eden mission came to Bhutan, where they wanted to have a British resident in our country. And that was flatly rejected by Tongsa Penlop Jigme Namgyal. And that rejection of the mission led to the fighting of Dowa in 1865. In Dowa, although Jigme Namgyal did not make a remarkable victory over mighty British, but there he brought unity amongst regional lords to defend Bhutan from the British. The remarkable and notable outcome of the war was the signing of Treaty of Sintula in 1865. That was on 11th November 1865. There, by this incident, by that event in the history, gave so much of faith and confidence to Jigme Namgyal to pave the way towards monarchy. Okay, next event we have is Jigme Namgyal becoming Duke Desi in 1870. Uh, Although Jigme Namgyal retired, he was pulled back into the political affair when on the Photon Zomben Dalung Topge killed Thingpu Zombe Castle Topge and appointed his close ally Kaung Monkey as Thingpu Zombe. That was the open act of rebellion against central government. Jigme Namgyal tactfully solved the problem and he gained the confidence of the people. And the central monastic body and the people unanimously appointed and enthroned Jigme Namgyal as 49th DC in 1870. Okay. The next and the last event we have is general uprising of 1877. In 1873, Jigme Namgyal retired from the post of Desi and gave it to his cousin Kirsalpa Doji Namgyal. But in 1877, there was an open act of challenge by the power panel of Nyima Doji, Puna Zompe Ngidu, and Andre Fordon Zompe Andrew Nim. With the efforts poured in by Jigme Namgyal, he was pulled back into the political affair, where he quelled all the rebellions and emerged as a de facto ruler of the country. He did not retire back to his private residence in Wangdicholing. He based at Semtoka to ascertain the emerging political conflict in our country. There, to cement and strengthen political stability, he adopted the strategy of appointing his relatives and close ally to the most important post in the government. That made it easy for his successor to carve out a peaceful monarchy in our country. Yes, my dear students, how many events did we discuss so far? Okay, quickly we'll recall it. First one, in 1850, reunification of Shashokolosipke. In 1853, Jigme Namgyal becoming Chetse Penlo. In 1857, Battle of Samkha. In 1864 and 1865, British mission to Bhutan that was led by Ashley Eden, and that led to the fighting of Dowa. And 1870, Jigme Namgyal was ascended to the throne of Desi, and in 1877 there was a general uprising where Jigme Namgyal emerged as a de facto ruler of our country. And these events had helped Jigme Namgyal to lay strong foundation for the establishment of hereditary monarchy in our country.
Lopugin, thank you so much for your wonderful explanation. Besides, besides the political events, Lam Jang also played a very important role in the political life of Desi Jigme Namgyal. Could you elaborate some of his contributions?
Well, Lam Jang made an enormous contribution in the life of Jigme Namgyal. Lam Jang was a root teacher for Jigme Namgyal. As a root teacher, before he became a root teacher to Jigme Namgyal, Lam Jang predicted about the coming of Jigme Namgyal from the east in the service of Trongsa to Trongsa Penlob, Tamjing Cheje, Ugin Finso. In 1853, Jigme Namgyal became Trongsa Penlob. Soon after he became Trongsa Penlob, Lam Jangchup advised him to construct a Dechok Lakhang, installing Dechok statue facing towards west so that Jigme Namgyal could bring unity between west and east. Even Lam Jangchup advised him to wear black go, black shoe, and to ride on black horse having a white hooves, Tana Tinka, so that it would ward off all the evil spirit against Jigme Namgyal. Therefore, to the Western world, Jigme Namgyal was known as Black Regent, and popularly in our country, he is known as Deb Nakpo. Besides that, Lam Jangchup Tsindu also designed Raven crown, imbued the blessings of northern demon Jang Di and raven-headed Mahakala. And of all the contribution made by Lam Jangchup Tsindu, the designing of raven crown as a significant contribution for Jigme Namgyal and to our country. As the crown that our monarch wear today is the pure replica that was designed by Lam Jangchup Tsindu back then. Okay, with all these events, helped Jigme Namgyal lay strong foundation to establish hereditary monarchy in Bhutan. Yes, now we are done with the event and a very important personality that had contributed and helped Jigme Namgyal to pave the way towards establishing hereditary monarchy in our country. Now the next segment that we have is another era that also equally contributed to establish hereditary monarchy in our country. That is the events during Gongsa Ugen Wangchuk's time. Are you all ready now? Okay, then let us move on. Let us move on with the events during Gongsa Ugen Wangchuk's era. How our country, now you will come to know how our country became hereditary monarchy. As Bhutan was ruled by theocratic system for more than 256 years. The first event during Ugen Wangchuk's time is the Battle of Changlimitang that was fought in 1885. This battle was the culmination of the conspiracy hatched by his two trusted persons. They were the adopted brothers of Ugen Wangchuk, Pinso Doji and Alu Doji. If you recall, we all know who were they. Okay? These two trusted person hatched conspiracy to kill Ugen Wangchuk. And that conspiracy had led to the fighting amongst a brother at Changnimithang. However, at Changnimithang, Ugen Wangchuk emerged victorious, and he consolidated the power and emerged as the central power and made it easy for him to establish the hereditary monarchy. For the people of Bhutan, it marked the end of disorder and the beginning of peace. Okay, next event we have is Young Husband Mission to Tibet in 1904. In 1903, British sent an expedition under the leadership of Colonel Francis Younghusband, and Ugen Wangchuk was invited to join the mission. However, Ugen Wangchuk refused to join. There are several reasons why he did not join, but we will not discuss it. But a year later, in 1904, Ugen Wangchuk saw an opportunity to assist the British, and he volunteered to join the British mission to Lhasa as a mediator. For his service in securing the Anglo-Tibetan Convention of 1904 at Potala Palace, he was knighted with the insignia of Knight Commander of Indian Empire, KCIE. And thereafter, continued to accrue greater power in Bhutan. The prestige Ugen Wangchuk earned abroad did not only help to deepen Bhutan's relation with British and Tibet, but also to reinforce his own leadership position within the country. The next event is very interesting, where we will discuss the petition submitted by Jadung Ugen Doji to appoint and elect Ugen Wangchuk as the first monarch of our country. As we all know, in lower key stage, the contributions made by Jadung Ugen Doji. But here we'll just discuss on how he petitioned, why he petitioned, and how Tongsapelo Ugen Wangchuk enthroned as first hereditary monarch of our country. In 1906, the last Desi was retired to Sanche Kolakang. It created a political vacuum. The incarnation of Jabdung was not recognized. No capable person to officiate the seat. And that situation in the country motivated Ugen Doji to petition to the Lhengri Thok to elect Ugen Wangchuk as the first hereditary monarch of our country. In his petition, he justified the Desi system had become weak and would function no more due to the change in time. He also justified a powerful and influential statesman was necessary to restore peace and order. And he also pointed out that only hereditary monarchy would assure a continued line of succession and enhance peace in Bhutan. Considering all these points, Lhengge Thok agreed and accepted the petition. And on 17th December 1907, the day of favorable astrological combination, Ugen Wangchuk was escorted into the Punakha Zong with a chibdral ceremony. There, His Holiness the Jekembo offered Ugen Wangchuk the Genja, which was then ceremoniously read out. signed and sealed by the members of Lengetok, the central monastic body, government officials, and representatives from each provinces. There were rows of people, representatives from all the provinces in our country. They offered a symbol of any kind that had related to our Judaism to be tender. And this moment was historic and also important for Bhutan as a hereditary monarchy ensured peace, order, political stability, and economic development of the nation. Thus, the, the sun of peace shone over Bhutan, and the peace that we enjoy today is a seed sown by our founding monarch Ugen Monchu. Okay, I came to an end with the events that led to the establishment of hereditary monarchy in Bhutan. Hope you all have understood and you got something that can relay your understanding of the topic. Before I conclude, let us have a takeaway question, just one question that you can explore at home. We have to analyze the situation. Okay, look at the question here. Yes, what do you think would be the condition or a situation of Bhutan had the Desi system continue? Meaning, what would be the situation in our country had hereditary monarchy not emerged or established? Please think over it, explore, read more, and find it out the answer. Thank you so much. Stay at home, maintain a physical distance, social distance. Have a nice learning.